Right. Now this is the story library book about Mighty Mac, an engine with two faces. They had some difficulty working together, so let's hear the story, shall we? The island of Sodor is a very busy place in the summertime. Holidaymakers come from far and wide to sunbathe on the beaches and go for long walks in the beautiful hills. Thomas and his friends are kept very busy taking the holidaymakers from the docks to their campsites. Toot toot was the engines, as they raced across the many tracks that cross the island. And there's lots of them. The engines were so busy, the Fat Controller asked a new engine to come to the island to help with the holiday rush. The new engine's job was to take holidaymakers to the mountain campsite. He had to be a very strong engine because the mountain track was very steep, with lots of twists and turns. Thomas was waiting at the transfer yards to meet the new engine. He whistled a big "Hello!" "Hello," came the reply from the engine. It was followed very quickly by another "hello." Thomas looked from one end of the engine to the other. It had two faces. Thomas had never seen another engine like it. "I'm Mighty," said Puff the Boiler with a curl on his head. "And I'm Mac," puffed the Boiler with freckles. "And together we are Mighty Mac." They both puffed at once. "Mighty Mac," called Mr. Percival, the Fin Controller, "you are to take those holidaymakers to their mountain campsite." "But how will we get to the holidaymakers?" groaned Mighty. "They're on the other side of the yard." "There were never so many tracks in the shunting yard we used to work in," mourned Mac. Luckily, Thomas was there to help them. "It's simple," he whistled. "Look where you want to go, then follow the track that will take you there." Mighty Mac looked at the trucks. Mighty began to chuff carefully in one direction, but Mac had other ideas. "You are going the wrong way," he puffed, trying to pull back along a different track. "No, it's this way," chuffed Mighty, pushing Mac along another track. Very soon they were going backwards and forwards along the tracks. They even had a ride on the turntable. But they didn't seem to be getting any closer to the holidaymakers. Then at last, "We're here," Mighty suddenly whistled. "Oh, really?" chuffed Mac. "Then why are the hot passengers over there?" Mighty Mac looked across the tracks at the holidaymakers still working on the platform. Mighty Mac certainly wasn't a really useful engine. "Now you are late," said Mr. Percival angrily. "Follow me," puffed Thomas. He showed Mighty Mac how to cross over to the holidaymakers. "We'll have to work extra hard," chuffed Mighty Mac. "We have to get to the campsite before it gets dark." Mighty Mac chugged quickly up the mountain. "This way," puffed Mighty, when they came to a fork in the track. He began to follow the left track. "No, this way," puffed Mac. But Mighty didn't listen. "It's this way," puffed Mac crossly, and he pulled and pushed Mighty along another track. "Be careful!" cried the holidaymakers, who were being bumped and bounced inside the carriage. Suddenly, Mighty Mac came to a dead end. Mighty and Mac had been too busy arguing to pay attention to where the campsite was. Some rocks had fallen on the track, and Mighty Mac couldn't go any further. "This isn't our campsite," said the holidaymakers. "This is your fault," puffed Mac, giving Mighty a shove. "No, it's yours," chucked Mighty. Puffed Mac, giving Mighty a shove. "No, it's yours," chugged Mighty, shoving him back. Little by little, Mighty Mac, shoving and pushing, began to nudge the carriage until they were bumping so quickly they knocked the carriage off the rails. "We'll never get to the campsite now," grumbled the holidaymakers. "This is your fault," Mighty told Mac. "No, it's your fault," Mac was sure. Typical. 1, 2, 3, push! The holidaymakers were working together to get the carriage back onto the tracks. Mighty Mac watched them helping each other. "Okay, you lead this time, Mac," said Mighty. "Let's go down the tracks so the passengers can couple me to the carriage." "Good idea, let's work together," puffed Mac. "Well done," cheered the holidaymakers. When Mighty and Mac worked together, they found they could do anything. Mighty could see the flag flying high above the campsite at the bottom of the mountain. "Let's go," he whistled. "Hold on," said Mac. "Which way is it to the campsite?" "Remember what Thomas told us," puffed Mighty brightly. "Look where you want to go," puffed Mac. "Then follow the track that will take you there," chuffed Mighty. "You know Mac," wished Mighty, When we pull together and work together, we can be a really useful engine, whistled Mac. And they set off happily back down the mountain. Wasn't that a very good story?